Good morning. So, today, actually, last night, if anybody watched my video from yesterday, you will know that I was having a rough time. I was feeling disappointed and feeling like not good enough, like I was failing. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I think it's really important for everybody out there to kind of see what that looks like and know that that's normal and that happens and that nothing has gone wrong. It's just part of the journey. So last night, after I posted that video, okay, so first let's just take it from the beginning. Okay, so yesterday I was feeling great. So at the beginning of the day, I was feeling amazing. I had Leah Brady on my Facebook Live, or a Facebook Live for an interview, and that's on my personal page. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it because she's amazing. And I was feeling so excited. I had committed to speaking with at least 16 people a day to fill my program. And so I sent out lots of emails. I contacted way more than 16 people. Oh, it looks like I have a bug bite on my neck. So I was feeling really, really great. Now, what happened was, while I was waiting for responses and while I was getting some responses and not a lot of responses, that's when my mind started kind of getting frustrated and having all these thoughts about why people weren't getting back to me. And of course, it must have had something to do with me. I must be doing something wrong. My program must not be good enough. I must not articulate what the program is about well enough. But you guys, I'm like an expert on relationships and coach client relationships falls into that category. It has nothing to do with me personally if somebody doesn't get back to me or somebody is not interested. Of course, everyone's not going to be interested. Not everybody has the same struggles and the same relationships and the same finances, the same desire or drive to grow and evolve. So of course not everybody's going to be interested. And I know this. I know it's like a numbers game. You have to get out there to find the people who are waiting for you to find them. But at the same time, and I knew that I was creating this emotion for myself. However, it was what was true for me in that moment. Now that feeling only lasted, I would say, an hour and a half at the most. But I just let it be there. I didn't fight it. We don't have to fight our negative emotions. I don't teach how to change every emotion. I do teach you how to change your emotions and how to create emotions. So you can create the emotion you want anytime you want it. But I don't teach that you should never feel negative emotions. You're going to feel negative emotions about half of the time. I also teach you how to allow the emotions to be there, how to feel it from beginning to end, and just how to manage it. So that's what I was doing yesterday. Now there's a difference between allowing those negative feelings to be there and going down a rabbit hole, right? So while I was allowing my disappointment and frustration to be there with me and just feel it, I wasn't allowing my mind to run wild too much. So a little bit, I would catch it, and then I would bring myself back and just so what my mind wanted to do was to go over all of the ways that I have failed, that I am a failure, that this isn't going to work, why I should quit, and just go back to nursing. All of these things were going on. And what was really happening is that I was trying to, that's your brain's way of like trying to fight the emotion, kind of, you know what I mean? So let's have all these other thoughts. Maybe something will happen, or your brain always wants to be right. So if your brain's telling you that you're failing at something, it's automatically going to try to show you all of the evidence. So you'll stop what you're doing so you can, tame this emotion. And that's not going to work either. It's not going to work for me because quitting isn't an option for me. And like I did feel kind of foolish later in the night for having that video up there, and I had lots of thoughts about it, like maybe I shouldn't do that. That's probably going to hurt my business. But I just didn't allow those thoughts to stick around either. I kind of let them come in, I let them go out, and I didn't give much power or energy to those thoughts. So there's a difference in like just complaining and letting your mind like go down this rabbit hole of no return, as opposed to just allowing the feeling to be there and not reacting to it. So by me trying to overthink it and give myself all these evidence of why this is happening, see, now I lost my train of thought here. What was I saying here? Well, I'm not sure. It'll come back to me. So I just wanted to be very clear that I wasn't just... Okay, so the whole time, also, I was very clear with myself that I was responsible for this emotion. It wasn't my clients. It wasn't this potential clients. It wasn't the fact that nobody was getting back to me. It was me. Also, instead of giving myself lots of evidence of how I've not been good at finding the right people for my programs, I was very honest with myself that it's like I tried one thing and it didn't work. I don't have to build it on top of the other things that I've tried that haven't worked. And honestly, I haven't given all these other things multiple tries either. One webinar, just one. It's not like I've done 10 webinars. It's not like I was like, okay, I'm going to tweak this and make it better and see what happens. I haven't done that yet. So I gave myself one opportunity. It's like expecting yourself to learn how to ride a bike the first time you try. No, you got to get back on and try. No, you got to get back on and try. You got to get back on and try. Oh, you got to pedal faster, or you need to keep your balance, or you need to, like put your foot down when you're done so you don't fall over. It's practice. It's all it takes is practice. Now, part of practicing is also practicing the mindset. So yesterday, even though I know there's a lesson in there somewhere for me to learn, I don't know exactly what it is yet, I took it as an opportunity to really practice, like just leaning into the feeling and allowing it to be there without reacting to it. That's what it was. So I was reacting to the emotion by overthinking and going over and collecting all the evidence. That was me reacting to my emotion. It's just one way in reacting. So like when you're mad, frustrated, angry, a reaction would be to yell, or maybe to complain to anybody who will listen, right? Sometimes we do that. It's like we just, anybody that comes across us is like, you don't want to be talking to me today because I'm just full of complaints. But for me, so every situation is going to be a little bit different. And in my situation, it was just my thoughts. Letting my thoughts run wild would be me reacting to this emotion. But that's not the correct way to deal with it. That's a good way to make it stronger and to make it scarier and to enhance it. I didn't want to enhance it, and I wasn't trying to eliminate it immediately, because I think it is very important for us to feel our feelings when it's true for us in the moment. And that's what was going on with me. That was what was just my truth, and I didn't fight it, and I just let it be there, and it didn't last very long. So the difference is, by letting it be there and not reacting to it, but being willing to experience it in my body, it went away fairly quickly. Now, had I collected a bunch of evidence for why all these feelings and thoughts are true and why I shouldn't be doing this and why I should give up, then that feeling would have probably evolved into bigger feelings and more negative feelings, and then it would have been like this huge obstacle to overcome. When I simply just let disappointment be there, and then it went away. It came in and it went out. And actually, I think we talked a little bit about this on the interview with Leah yesterday, so check that out, because that's kind of ties right into this. Now, it's kind of embarrassing to put yourself out there in such a way where you're crying all over Facebook for the world to see. But I promised that I was going to show you my journey, and this is part of my journey. I've got ups and downs, and sometimes they come like this. Sometimes it's in one day. Sometimes it's one day after the other. Sometimes I have a great week, and then the next week is kind of rough. And I'm just getting great practice on coaching myself through it, leaning into my feelings, and allowing myself to be coached by others. So I have 2 coaches right now. And it's so helpful, and it's so much easier to coach myself when I can rely on past coaching experiences with my coaches, or if I know a coaching call is coming up. So one of the things that one of my coaches, her name is Autumn Rule. I think it's Life Coaching with Autumn Rule. If you want to check her out, you should. She's amazing. She told me that just because you can't see the changes does not mean they're not happening. And I know that by me putting myself out there, by me sharing my information, by asking people to help me find the people, doing the webinar, doing my thought work, all of these things are making changes. The universe is responding. And even though I can't see it, does not mean it's not happening. And I know that my ideal clients, the people that I'm passionate about working with, the people who really are truly ready for transformation, are out there. Now, I've also heard a lot of, actually, I think I'm going to talk about this later. I might get on later today or tomorrow, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the objections I hear to coaching and what I have to say about them. And I also want to talk more before my program starts about some of the things we're going to be talking about in the program. So I was going to talk about that, but I think I'm going to talk about it later. So I wanted to hop on this morning, and I wanted to let you guys all know that I am doing well. I am okay. I had a moment, and I'm just picking myself back up and moving forward. So one of the things, I've been listening to this book, The Prosperous Coach, and I love it. It's something that was said in, just like a random sentence that was really not important to the book at all, was something about not turning back. There's no turning back now. And I've been really keeping that. It's just been at the forefront of my brain, and I've been reminding myself there's no turning back, which also means there's no turning around and looking at all of the things that haven't gone right, or collecting evidence that this isn't the right thing for me. So I know in my heart and my soul that this is what I'm called and compelled to do. And I know that the only reason that I haven't already reached $100,000 in my business is because I am not evolved into the person that I need to be to reach that. So I have more work to do. I have more learning to do. And that's what each one of these things is doing for me. So the way that I responded yesterday to my negative emotion is light years away from how I would have responded to that a year ago. So I have gotten better, and I need to just keep proving to myself, to God, to the universe, that I am ready for this and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. So if it means that I need to go through negative emotion and feel like crap some of the time, I'm willing to do it because this work is so powerful. It is, and I'm not even exaggerating, coaching is life changing. And you get to decide what changes you make. So it's not like you're going to not know what your life is going to look like, because I know change can be scary. It's you deciding what you want in your life and going after it. Whatever that means. So for me, I think my biggest struggle was with my relationships. And I started coaching myself through some of my relationship problems years ago. Before I had even heard of life coaching, I didn't even know it was a thing. But I didn't know I was coaching myself until very much later, several years later. Looking back, I thought, oh, I was coaching myself through that. And I'm so proud of myself because I had a vision for what I wanted my life to be like, and I was willing to change myself to get it. So when I first started working on my relationships, it was with my husband. We were arguing and we were fighting, and I was playing nasty. I remember thinking, what could I say that's going to hurt the most? I mean, because I was hurting, so he should be hurting. And then, out of nowhere, I had this thought, wait a minute. This is the person that I claim, I tell people, I've told him, and I've promised to love the most. And these are things that I would never say to anybody else. I wouldn't treat my enemies as poorly as I am trying to treat my husband. Now, then I started thinking, like, how is this going to be? Is this going to be my life? Is this going to be how we live? Is this going to be our marriage? Now, we've always had a good marriage, so don't get me wrong. But when we would fight, they would be like epic battles. I almost wanted to say like to the death, but that's kind of how it feels like, to like our emotional death. Like, who can cause the most emotional pain? That's the winner. And then I decided, oh no. This is not going to be my life. This is not going to be my marriage. I refuse to let this happen. And so I started changing the way I talked to him. I started changing the way I fought with him, the things that I said, and the way I communicated, and everything started changing. It didn't like all happen all at once. It was like I had to practice. Then he started changing the way he approached things, and we are at a point now where I cannot imagine there being a better situation for us. Like, I feel like we are at top level. Now, I'm sure we're not, but our marriage is the best that it has ever been, and has always been, good. Like, it's always been, it's always been a good marriage. So to be at this elevated level makes me so excited, because I can see that that's how it's going to happen in other areas of my life. I am happy already. I'm happy without the $100,000 from the business. If I never get it, I'm going to be a happy person. But that doesn't mean that I can't grow and evolve and level up. And having the big goals and striving for them is what is going to help me evolve. So I know that all the obstacles that come my way are helpful, and they are there for me, not against me. But there are times when that negative emotion comes in, and that's okay. And that's what I mean, like just letting it be there. And taking responsibility for the way that I feel. Because if I could have sat there and blamed a million other people for the way I was feeling, but what good was that going to do me? It wasn't going to make me feel any better. That feeling is still there. But by knowing that I am creating the feeling, creates like a piece around it that I know that I'm not going to feel like this forever and I have control over it. But right now I'm just going to let it be there and I'm going to feel it. And I can create any emotion that I want. And honestly, sometimes we just want to feel bad. So I did. I just wanted to cry and I wanted to feel bad and I wanted my husband to hug me and tell me everything was going to be okay. I could do that for myself. But I was pampering myself a little bit and letting somebody else say those words to me and to allow myself to feel safe in those moments. So I am okay. I am not quitting. I have lots of things on my mind. And one of the things that I need to get better at, and I know that this is probably part of the reason these things are happening to me, is just time, just being patient. I know it's scary. I didn't jump into coaching right away either. I listened to Brooke Castillo's podcast. I don't even know how long. I'm trying to think of how many she had. She had probably 100, 150 podcasts. And I listened to every single one of them. And I went on every webinar she did and every free call she, I'm going to say maybe it was, I don't know, it was like 6 months to a year before I was brave enough to sign up for free coaching from her students. Free coaching from her students was my very first coaching experience from one of her students. And it was really helpful. It was really helpful in my relationships. Really helped me navigate some of the situations that I was having go on with me and my family. And so like with my mom and my sister, we had just really like big things going on and it was really tricky. So my mom and I had a business together and then that didn't work out. And then, I was navigating these different roles and this new situation, and how I felt about leaving the business, leaving the business. So we decided we were going to go into business together. Then I left and now she's running it. And so there was just some times in there that everything was really emotionally tricky, or that's what it felt for me. And I started to define a new role in the family, and it kind of, threw everything on my end into turmoil because it was just new and I didn't know how to navigate it. So it was really helpful to me. And so when Brooke's next training came up, I just needed to learn more, and it turned into me actually going and doing it. And so, I just know that it takes time. So if you're nervous, you're scared, you don't know what to do, you want to get on a free call with me, but you're nervous to do it, I totally get it. I totally get it. I totally been there, and I have got you. It only takes a few seconds of brave to get a call scheduled, and then I'll take it from there. I just forget sometimes what it's like to not have experienced it and to not be like just all in. Because I've been all in with coaching for a while now, and everything has gotten so much better. But I forget what it's like to be scared and to be nervous about it and to be unsure, and what does that mean, and what if I find out that I cannot be helped. So let me just tell you right now, that's not possible. It isn't possible that you can't be helped. Now, if you just, let's say, journaled for 30 days, you would be helped. If you talked to yourself in the mirror and said all of your dreams and all of the obstacles and all the things that are in your mind, you would be helped. Now, what's great about having a coach is that the coach is trained in like cutting through all the bullshit and getting right to the problem. You can get there. You can get there by yourself, but a coach helps you get there faster. It really points it out and really helps to like bring all the tools and the strategies to your life in a way that you can implement them. Because sometimes it's really hard to see how those things apply to your own life. It is for me anyway, hard sometimes. Sometimes I just need somebody to be like, yeah, well, it's this. It's like, oh yeah, I know that. I'm a coach. I'm a coach and I can coach people and I help people all the time, but I still have a coach because it's that powerful. I pay for coaching, even though I can coach myself, because I just love the feeling of leveling up, and I get excited about it. But anyway, I'm very off topic, and I don't know how we got here, but I need to go eat something because I'm starving, and I'm starting to not feel very good because I haven't eaten yet. So I am going to let you guys go. Again, I'm just so grateful to be here. I can't remember what day I'm on. 78? Was 77? I don't know. I should know. But I am nearing the end of my 100-day Facebook Live challenge. And so I'm still kind of deciding what I'm going to do next. But I think a podcast is on the horizon. So I should start working on that. But also I have some thoughts about maybe going on an adventure soon. So I will keep you guys posted. Okay, I am going to go. I'm going to have an amazing day. I'm going to be contacting 16 people with bravery. I'm not going to make it mean anything about myself today. That was yesterday. I had my moment. Now it's time to kick ass and get back to it. So I will talk to you all tomorrow or maybe later. I don't know. I have lots of things I want to say. Okay. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.